Hi, welcome to Mystic Frequency. I'm Lisa, and I'll be your collective tarot reader here today on February 22nd, 2026. But no matter when this reading finds you and you click into it, especially if it's further down the road, whether that be like a year or two, a month, a week, tomorrow, today, there's a message here that your guides are trying to reveal for you today. And if you are one of my frequent listeners, you can go ahead and dive into the timestamp so you can skip the rest of the intro and get the message you are needing. But if you are new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad that you're here today and cannot wait for you to be able to take what is revealed today and use it for your benefit. And so I like to kick things off by first recognizing anybody that may have a birthday. So happy birthday and thank you for making it another trip around the world today. Always here on this channel, I want to make sure that my listeners are celebrated, that they find something to celebrate, whether that be an achievement, a goal, a milestone, or even kicking a habit out the door that no longer served you. So please find a celebration to celebrate today. And leading into my disclaimers, I cannot give professional advice. I can only give information from personal experiences or whatever is brought today through tarot, oracle, what your guides are trying to share today. And you do not have to take only this message and use only this message. You will always have other options, other opportunities, other doors for you to explore, and this should not be the sole thing that dictates your path. You have free will, and the wheel is in your control at all times. So use it wisely. Determine whether or not am I going into a ditch, or am I no longer controlling what I am doing in my life and I am operating as a robot instead. But this is just for, pure joy. This is my hobby and my passion. And I just want to, share whatever I find today with those. If you're on a journey, let's go on a journey together. Let's dive into this adventure. But without further ado, if you find that this reading is not going to resonate, there are a couple of reasons here for that. I always like to start off with the first one. Is there anyone you are close to, in contact with, or you find that you are constantly brushing up against whenever you are, going through your modes in life? If it does, do you think it will assist or help them? If you do, then please share this with them. Pass the message along. Sharing is caring, and that's how we raise the collective together. And then the last thing you can do with this reading, if it is not resonating, I want you to imagine you have a library. Is it empty or is it full? Is there room to put another book on the shelf? So that way, if you do come across this feeling or whatever this energy is bringing today, you will be able to pull that book off the shelf, go back to wherever that chapter was, and then say, that's what this was talking about. It may not have resonated in that moment, but now you've got the tool to be more successful and in alignment with your purpose in life. But I'm going to go ahead and dive into this reading and go ahead and share what the Astro Dice have to reveal today about this energy that is going on. We have the South Node, so what you are destined to release in this life. In Gemini, where your curiosity is at play, you are thinking about how you can expand your mind even more and how you can network what it is that you were learning. And then we have in the 5th house, or house 5, where it's your passion, how you play, the children that are around you, and how you identify as a potential parent, and how you are confident and creative in your endeavors. But let me go ahead and put them up here on the tarot slots. I don't even know what this is called. So let me talk about the South Node. This is something your soul is moving away from. So imagine that you are this dragon, and currently where you are at the tail, where the North Node is what you are destined to have. The tail is what you are destined to release. This is something that has been incarnated in your life that is a requirement to heal. It's not something you can avoid. It's an area where you have been feeling stuck or that you find you're wanting to leave constantly. Now, while you are here at this tale, you are facing the opposite direction of where your current path is leading you. So imagine, I know this is my crow, but imagine you are this dragon and you were on the tail and you were facing this way when in reality you need to be pointing this way towards your true north. So whatever you were holding on to real tightly is something that may no longer be serving you and you need to release. So think about what that cling or what you were clinging to is. But if you allow yourself, in common, past histories you've had or past lives you've had, you have received offerings for being in this role. At one point, this was your true north. But it's like you're stuck and you don't understand, well, I know this is something I'm supposed to be doing with my life, then why am I not receiving the gifts that I know I'm supposed to receive now? We need to release something here. We need to release and let go and trust that what is meant for us is meant for us. And learn to surrender outcomes, surrender, any kind of expectation that you have currently on what you are supposed to receive. Don't try to look a gift horse in the mouth, if you will. I just heard that in my hand. It's like Spirit is handing you a basket and you are so focused on the fact that Spirit is in front of you, communicating you and trying to bring you something, but you are so focused on the ethereal form of what is being offered that you forget to take what is being offered to you. You are forgetting to take this gift. And now you were like, oh my gosh, all I can think about is this one opportunity, this one thing that I had in my life that was a gift. And I forgot to continue to keep moving forward because I was so stuck on this. It's like Spirit gave you a nudge and it lit something up within you. It lit your passions up. And you thought that that was the only thing that you were meant to be doing. And that wasn't the case here. And so it's like when you do something that is really healthy for you and it's like doing a specific yoga position all the time or yoga routine all the time, because Gemini energy has to be very flexible and versatile where it can change and move in any direction that it wants to. And when it finds that it's only doing the same thing over and over and over again, it gets bored real quickly and wants to expand itself in a different direction. It's like my shoulders are getting real tense right now and I really need to start doing something to stretch my shoulders, or I'm starting to notice that my wrists or my ankles are getting real tight and I need to stretch those things. And that is what Spirit is using as an analogy here for you, is there are areas of your life that you need to stretch in because currently you are more focused on where you're currently sitting on this tail. And it wants you to look at how certain relationships or situations have shaped you in this life. Did they help you grow or did they shrink you? Did they limit you from being able to express yourself? Or did you find that it was like, it was like gasoline was poured on you and you knew at some point in your life you were going to explode. You weren't sure in what direction you were going to explode in, but it's like you have been waiting for that match to set things off in a positive way. Maybe certain relationships do not benefit you and they cause you to explode in negative ways, negative situations. It's just not healthy or beneficial for you. But also think about the ones that really help motivate you, that, took the time to sit down with you as a child. So this is also talking about children even. were you given a crayon and allowed to explore on the paper? And how did the adults react when you decided to move from this paper to the wall? Did it cause a scar or a wound on your heart that prevented you from wanting to create or explore in other areas of your life? Or did you find that your heart was closed off in that instant and you said, I guess that's not for me. I'm not going to do it ever again? Or when you wanted to sing and at first everybody supported that for you. They were like, oh gosh, she found something she really liked and enjoyed, and they gave you a microphone, and then the instant that you started to use that microphone, everybody told you to shut up or go somewhere else in the other side of the house. Why are you listening to music? You can't do that with your life. You need to grow up and realize that that is not a career or a role for you. And those are very specific images that are coming into my mind. And I will say now, the one where we're talking about drawing on a wall, I had two different reactions. I had a very healthy reaction. I had a not so healthy reaction to two different people and how it helped shape and mold my own adventures in expressing myself as an artist. And I had a grandparent, and there was one specific wall in her house that she was okay with us coloring on. And I found that was, it's releasing when you have at least, okay, if you don't want to color on this piece of paper, I understand it, because you want something that will last forever. And you know that when you hang something up, eventually it has to come down. So as a child, I'm thinking in my head, I want something that I can keep up on the wall forever that does not get taken down or replaced by someone else's art. So that wall was one way for me to express myself. And for my at home, I didn't have that. I only had that at my grandparents' house. So when I was at home, when I tried to have my own personal expressions, it's like the walls had to be blank. There was no point in having art on the walls. It would either get destroyed, ripped off, thrown in the trash, or I would have to sit there and scrub, the hours of work that I have put into this one spot in my house, or I would have to clean another person's artwork that they had in, their own room. And so there's nothing that gets to be, it's like you don't want pieces of you to grow up or be thrown away. And that is a wound that can carry on into your adult life, where you are wanting to hold something really close to yourself and it not be thrown away. And let me tell you something, guys. If you have something you were wanting to create right now, this mama is the type of mama to hang it on her fridge till she no longer has a fridge she can open. So please, share the things that you are creating. You can always, and I do have an Instagram. I have, I do have a Facebook even for Mystic Frequency, that if you do find that you're wanting someone to look at your art, or, give you that thumbs up or that heart, even, I'm that girl for you. So, find a safe place for you to create, even if, it's something that you have to share online even, or just have your own personal art book if you want to kind of keep it to yourself, network and share it with others. But think about how those relationships either helped you grow a talent or throw a talent away that you could have had and used for your purpose in life. And, how did you deal with those challenges or those individuals that try to pull the plug on you? How did you try to solve or think about what that lesson was in that moment that was trying to teach you? So that way, when you are around other children, do you repeat what you have learned, or do you create a whole new lesson for another child? So, and if you do have any wounds on your tail that bother you, find ways to embrace them. Let them go behind you so you're not holding them in front of you, and it's like you're holding them in front of you and that's all you're looking at. And that could even be the gift that, Spirit was giving you, is, showing you that there are these people in this life that are going to hurt you, but there are also going to be these people in your life that are going to bless you, that are going to nurture a part of you so that way you can grow and expand the way you were meant to. So allow you to take your tail and set it off to the side behind you. Know that it will always be there, that you will have all of these happy memories that have occurred in your life, and you don't need to constantly, pull them up and then trip over them every time you try to take a step. But allow yourself to put it behind you so you can move forward. And, if you do find that you are tripping over your tail constantly, that's a lesson that, may be repeating. And your guides are asking you, why are you not listening? Why are you being so stubborn? What is it here that you need in order to heal and move on? That's going to be each person will have a different answer for what they are going to need in order to hop over their tail. And I just imagine someone jump roping with their tail and it's helping them move forward and propel in a faster way. So if you're doing that, whatever you are doing to adapt, because Gemini energy is very adaptable, do what works for you. Now, in the Gemini, you are really wanting to find a new experience. You are wanting something to change in your life, and you're wanting to move. You don't want to be stuck in one spot. And this may be even a calling for you to share your struggles that you have experienced in your life and communicate what was learned. You may be someone that can be a mentor, a counselor, a teacher of some kind that works with children even, and you were showing healthy ways to use their emotions without, being that potential gasoline. Speaking of gasoline, my husband and I just witnessed a person that was walking down the road yesterday, and they had a gasoline tank in their hands, and you could tell they were mad. They were upset with something going on in their life, and they were swinging their arms back and forth, and they were just not paying attention to the fact that if they did need that gasoline, by the time they made it to where their vehicle was to fill it back up again, because it made me wonder if maybe he had someone that forgot to put gas in their car, and so now he's stuck somewhere. But his car was down the street. Otherwise, we would have offered to help him, get, gas in his car. But he was already almost there. But we were thinking, Spirit, when you allow your frustrations to get out of control, and you're so upset about the thing that made you upset that it's causing you to react, you don't even realize your body is just flinging all over the place. But he had gasoline flinging everywhere as he was walking back to his car with the gas in his hand. And all I could think of is like, how are you going to feel when you make it to your car and realize you still don't have gas? You're going to be even more upset and furious in this situation. Whereas if you could just calm down, breathe, take a moment to pause and say, I'm going to use this as a lesson to, remind others, if you're going to use something of mine, make sure to refill it. And if you do not, you lose that privilege. But it's just like, notice your actions. Notice it. I don't know why I felt the need to share that, but I did. So what kind of person are you? Are you, maybe you're me and you're watching this unfold and you're seeing this as, thank you, Spirit, for showing me what happens when we allow our emotions to dictate our actions and how it puts us further in a hole where all we can think about is our tail and what hurt us. And then there's this other person who is hell-bent on, self-destruction, if you will, or lighting a path of fire. Because even my husband was like, he's got that gasoline all over the sidewalk where he is going to that car. Man, but yeah, I'm going to go ahead and, keep talking about that Gemini energy. So think about what you need to release, what commitments you have, or deep connections that are no longer, they no longer have a place in your life that you need to leave behind, that you shouldn't be constantly bringing up, and finding ways to allow your life to pass through you. So healthy detachment is key here. And then with the fifth house, where and how you play with your self-expression is important. your relationship to children, yours or others, or how you are as a parent will really help you discover that self-expression that wants to come out. And think about how you release, any kind of adult responsibilities you have, so that way you can play with your inner child. And that's why I have an inner child oracle card out today for my listeners. And the fifth house wants you to have a sense of pride for who you have become and not hide it. So if you are someone that is an artist, please create. Or if you like to go on adventures, then go on a journey, explore. If you want to open up and communicate and talk to others, mingle, do it. If whatever is lighting you up. So if you want to be that social butterfly, go ahead and be that social butterfly and mingle and gain the information that you are craving to stimulate your mind. But this whole energy is talking about moving away from constant mental busyness. So think of that man who is walking towards the car, flinging gas everywhere, and he's so stuck in his mind and frustrated with what is currently going on. Think about it. And and this can be a very flirty energy as well. So are you actually having true relationships with people, or are you keeping them at an arm's length where they're not even allowed to come in and even, they only see the top part of you. That's all they see. And there's this fear of them to actually see what is currently going underneath. If you do feel that sense of fear of someone coming in and, telling you that you need to change, that they can't accept you for who you have become, that's a key indicator that that's someone you need to detach from, because you should find people who accept you for who you are and want to embrace all aspects of you, where you do want to show them that part of your inner child and embrace it with them as well. But think about any kind of, anybody that may be a fickle flirt, or if you are, like I said, you are that someone that tends to keep people kind of like away from you. You're on the stage and there's this separation between you and the audience, and not having a way to connect with one or the other. And if you do have a hobby, but it doesn't really help you, put raw authenticity into what you are creating or doing, then find a hobby that isn't superficial. Find a hobby that is, it really lights you up from within and puts you further towards your true north, if you will. And, find deeper meanings between your true friendships and, finding expansive pursuits. But you are adaptable. This is what this energy is talking about. You are able to adapt, and you've been doing this for your entire life. And now you're just being called to develop a more profound, philosophical, and honest approach to your, creative passions and friendships ultimately. And I know that sounded like I repeated it about 3 times, but your spirit guides are saying you're meant to have a deeper bond with people. You were meant to have a deeper bond with what you are building. But focus on what you need to let go of in this moment. Now, let me go ahead and reveal your inner child oracle, and then I'll do the minor oracles coming through. Pull yourself close. Our inner being longs for us to reside as one. It is now time to pull close all the places inside of us that we wish were not there. Imagine embracing yourself in acceptance, the good parts, the bad parts, the missing places, and the broken pieces, knowing that every place inside of you is worthy of greatest love, of the greatest love, and you were meant to have a great love. You were meant to have true friends. Your affirmation is, I am inspiring. Yes, you are. You are inspiring, and your guides want you to say that to yourself, because you are inspiring them by watching you as well. Your self-love oracle is, place your hand on your heart and give thanks for you. If you are someone that does not think you make an impact in this world. I am thankful for you being here today. I am thankful for you coming to this reading, and I am very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for, being inspiring and finding ways to share and open up with others and release what you need to release, because releasing can be a very scary thing when you've been attached to something your entire life. I know how hard it is. It's hard to let go of a good friend who is no longer a good friend. It's hard to let go of a job that you may have spent a long time pursuing and doing and thinking that this is what you wanted for your entire life, and then find out, no, it's not. But give thanks for you, because you still matter and you are still making a difference in this life. And then going over here for our Divine Masculine Feminine Oracle. Why do you want to walk away and not work it out? This is a very important thing to think about. I just got goosebumps all over my arm. So emphasis here. What makes you walk away from something, or makes you not want to work it out, or toss in the towel? Think about, that arm's length reach of having a relationship, or when you are in a relationship and everything's good, and then one thing sets it off and you throw a good relationship away, or find that things are no longer burning or passionate anymore. So you look for something that is burning and passionate again, and then look for something that's burning and passionate again. And then by the time you turn around, you realize you had gasoline poured everywhere, and all the connections you have are now burning away. But think about why you want to walk away from something and not work it out. Is it for a healthy reason? Or is it from a place of ego? Try to figure out and determine what the middle ground here is. The crystal that is coming through, and this just came out recently, we have kyanite, truth, communication, clarity. Speak your truth. Kyanite cuts through confusion, fears, and negativity and connects you to your most authentic self, soothing the soul. Kyanite sharpens your leadership skills and enhances communication skills, giving you the boost you need when addressing groups. Kyanite opens pathways and acts as a bridge from person to person, or even between dimensions, delivering telepathic messages. Kyanite is especially great for opening your throat chakra, bringing clarity and focus when you need it. We have Jupiter and Neptune in Aries, Taurus, and Libra. And the Moonology card that is coming through is a new start is coming in new moon. So a new start is coming for you. But in order for you to be able to walk through this door, you are having to look at the lessons that are being given here, why you want to walk away, why you don't want it to work out, what you need to release, what you need to heal, what you need to communicate with others. And then I'm going to go ahead and reveal your animal card. And we have the hawk. And the hawk is actually bringing you a message here. We have the emperor, and these are in reverse, but I want them to be upright so you can see the colors. The emperor is a fly agaric mushroom. And then we have the moon, which is an eastern jack-o'-lantern. So if you did want to see the beautiful art on these, I love Sarah Richards' art that she has made for these mushrooms. But let me go ahead and talk about the hawk. The hawk it's an air symbol, and the air symbol is very quick. It's very decisive in the things that it is choosing, and it has a bigger perspective of what it is flying over versus if you had just been on the ground. It has this higher dimension, if you will. And as it's flying over, it's moving through life very fast. So when it does decide to make a move in that moment, it needs to be very certain that its focus is on that intention. Otherwise, by the time it hits the ground, if it's trying to pick up, its source or whatever it needs to feed itself, if it's not careful on what is going to feed it, it's just going to eat dirt. The hawk sees everything. It sees everything, and it sees every move that you are making in this life, and it is very watchful. And when it notices that you are straying from your path, or if it notices that you need a pick up or a pick me upper, or or even if the divine itself is wanting to pass along a message, it's going to send this hawk into your life. So if you love hawks, this is a great sign if this is one of your spirit guides that has a close relationship with you. I've seen yesterday while we were on the mountain, we seen about 5 hawks, and one of them actually flew in front of my father-in-law's car, and we got to see the stripes and the patterns on the back of its wings as it swooped down and flew. But if it had timed itself a little bit slower, we would have hit the hawk. I will say that. And so that's why it's so important that when you do decide to swoop in on whatever has your attention, make sure you are focused. It is what you are wanting, and you are not just going to walk away from it the instant things get a little bit crazy, or when a car is coming. You know a car is going to come by the time you swoop in. So timing is everything here. And things are shifting in your life, and that's one of the things it wants to tell you is things are shifting. Fate has their eyes on you, and they are wanting to bring you a piece of information. Even though it may be something small, it's going to redirect your life. So don't be suspicious. Don't try to be like, okay, where's this hawk at that I need to look at? I need to, step outside of my yard and look for this hawk. That's not what's going on here. What they're wanting is you to not be suspicious of a gift if it is given to you, and allow yourself to have a perspective shift on any area of your life that needs more focus. It's like you're flying over this, and then you're like, what am I supposed to do with my life? And you keep going over and over and over again. And then Spirit comes in, well, this is what we need you to focus in on. And I will say the main thing is working with your fears and releasing what you need to release that you are trying to control in your life. The instant something starts to slip, there's this thing in the back of your mind of, I need to either hold on to it, or if you think someone is going to walk away from you or not give you an offer, you decide of not even giving them the opportunity to flip that coin or give you that chance. You walk away from it altogether. You're someone that really wants to make sure that a yes is a yes and there's not a maybe. And those maybes, I will say, have the potential to have more yeses in your life if you would have waited to hear what was said. If you had given someone the opportunity to grow or share their own experiences or why they make the decisions that they make. But the fly agaric is a good luck, good fortune kind of symbol to have. And it's known to be this bridge between the material world and the spiritual realm, where you can communicate and gain knowledge. It's like this constant phone that is in connection with the spirit realm. So you may be someone that, if you didn't think that you had a phone already and the line was open, you do have a line that is connected to spirit. And I do love that this is like, if you love Vikings or, old folklore, anytime Thor would strike his hammer on earth, that lightning bolt, these mushrooms would show up. So it held a significant importance, that was one way that spirit guide was letting you know that their presence is here. And anytime you do see these, there is a little bit of superstition here to be cautious and think about the dangers that may be around you that are toxic. Now, if you do see these, there is potential for growth and strength. But it's up to you to really look and see, as this hawk, where are my dangers at? What can eat me? What has the potential to kill me? Because these are toxic mushrooms. Or what is killing my potential to grow? So think about, any kind of fly that you may have around you, because these were used a long time ago as one of the natural fly insecticides to keep flies out of people's houses. So what are you trying to keep out of your house right now that you are trying to, you're trying to control the situation? So you've got a bowl of milk out and you've got this mushroom crumbled up inside it to, keep flies from coming in. But I can also see this as Spirit saying that they want you to be aware of potential dangers, be aware of where you are walking. Like if you've got your tail in front of you, because we do have the moon here, and there are illusions that are being, cast because of this mushroom, if you will. So like this is considered a psychedelic mushroom, and the moon is emphasizing that whatever you're trying to control is now an illusion in front of you. Now, this is the Eastern jack-o'-lantern, and it symbolizes the supernatural as well, and can let you know when there is deception or things that are mocking around you that are not what they seem. Because this can be mistaken for another mushroom, and people oftentimes will eat the mushroom thinking that this is what they should be eating, and it's not. It has a bright orange color, and it then has this eerie green nocturnal bioluminescent light that comes off of it, and it's known to be like a foxfire. And it is something that you would normally see around, autumn and fall, and that's why it has this name. But it's associated with like goblins, witches, or anything that, is in folklore. And it is a warning as well of potential danger. I probably already said that, but there is hidden danger that needs to be aware of, that you need to be aware of. It's associated with will-o-wisps, who have this tendency to lead travelers away from something. So there is, I will say, your guides are coming in here to let you know that there is something that is leading you astray from your path. It's almost like you're following this light, and it's causing you to walk away from something, leading you off your own path here, causing you to look at the end of your tail the other way. And the other things these mushrooms are good for, they act as grave markers for dying or dead oak trees. And I was just so stuck on grave marker. So there are these signs around you that there is something here that has died and needs to move on. I mean, even in this picture, this looks like a ram's head or a ram horn. So whatever action or movement that you have been doing has died altogether. And your guides are saying that you need to shift your focus to a bigger horizon so you can see where it is that you were walking to, or what you may potentially walk off of. But finding light or wisdom in the dark through challenging situations is what this mushroom is good for doing or symbolizing. So trust, even when things are dark, you are being led. As long as it's like, how do I say this so that way? When you are on autopilot mode and not thinking about what it is you need to be doing, that is when you are falling off a cliff. When you are setting intentions and working with the universe and trusting the process and seeing the gifts and the offerings and not letting that be the only gift and offering you receive, you are moving forward in your life and releasing what you need to. And I know this reading was very lengthy, but it was a reading that was meant to assist someone who needed a lot of confirmation on what they needed to let go, and understand that there is a lot to be thankful for because of their own hands. But I'm going to go ahead and end it here, guys. So if you enjoyed this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how it resonates or assists you in your own journey, because I love hearing about those. And I'm going to go ahead and head out here, guys. Bye.